And consumers have been out spending money a lot in the last 3 years. I mean, it's been kind of, I mean, a lot of that was all this money that was pumped into the system to save the economy during COVID. And, it's maybe you could argue that the government did too much of that. And you probably might win some of those arguments. But, I mean, it was done in the name of trying to make things better. And to be fair, our economy kind of came through the whole COVID thing better than just about anybody else.
Yeah.
There were bumps in the road and, things that didn't work, and there were things that did. But so consumers have been outspending money. And now, given, tariffs and trade barriers and all this stuff, I think there's a sentiment out there that maybe they're not feeling as positive about things as they were. And that has an effect on the market and the way the market kind of prices itself. So I think there's some of that adjustment going on now.
I'll tell you what, you and I spoke about this. I just got back from Disneyland, and I'll tell you what, people are spending.
Yeah, they are.
Despite what's in the headlines.
Right.
And I don't know what a typical, weekend looks like at Disneyland down in LA or in Anaheim. And
Right.
This is the busier season because of spring break, but holy cow, there was no shortage of spending at Disneyland.
Well, I think I think often I've said this before, there's almost like there's sometimes two economies. There are people who can afford Disneyland, and there are people who want to afford toothpaste.
Yeah, right.
And I think you see that in different pockets of the country where you just don't see the economic advantages that you see displayed in places like Washington, New York, or Southern California. So I think the economics have reviewed more on a macro level than they are viewed on this, level of how many people are at Disneyland, as great as that can be for the people who can afford it.
Right.
So I think the market just interprets the data and goes, okay, where are we? And then looks forward 6 months or 12 months or whatever it is, and then kind of places its bets based upon what it thinks will be true then. And I think right now we have a market that is assessing a lot of data based upon what's happened in about, the last month or so.